Hey there, how are you today? I hope you're good. I was living in a bubble. Every time I did a live stream on this channel, someone was talking to me about Aurora and I had no idea about who she was. I know, such an embarrassment, but just so you know, I did change that. And in case you don't know who Aurora is either, I'm happy to introduce her to you. Since she released her first album in 2016, Aurora has been captivating audience around the world with her ethereal, angelical vocals and that mystical vibe that surrounds her music. Described as the magical child of Bjork and Grimes, the singer has been performing at some of the biggest musical festivals in the world, including Glastonbury and Coachella, and she even has a song featured on the soundtrack of Frozen 2. What really matters, let's be honest. So now, as she released The Gods We Can Touch, her third or fourth studio album, depends on how you see it, I think it's only fair for us to take a look on her fascinating journey that, spoiler, it does sound like a fairy tale. So if you already liked this video and got subscribed, I think we're ready to go. Aurora was born in Norway in 1996 and she grew up in a tiny village called Ho in a town called Oz with her parents and her two older sisters. Since she was a child, she had a lot of contact with nature, especially the woods and the water, and she has even described her hometown as a place that's surrounded by mountains and trees and goats. She said that it's like Narnia, basically, and her relationship with nature has a big influence on her music and inspirations. She said in an interview that nature is an easier source of happiness for her because when she's like climbing a mountain or walking in the woods, those are relaxing activities for her because she doesn't really have to think about anything. So when she gets home, the inspiration comes naturally to her. When I am in the mountain, I just am, and it's such a nice feeling. I'm kind of awake but also dreaming, and we forget to dream when we are awake. Most of us only dream when we are asleep, and I think that's a dangerous thing. Now, a really relevant information. She also collects moths because she finds them beautiful and she likes to have a closer look at their details. As of 2016, she already had 21 moths. Aurora began to play the piano when she was only 6 years old when one of her sisters throws it away and she retrieved it because she missed the sound. That's also when she began to create music. I started to write melodies when I was 6 years old and the words came when I was 9. And after I discovered one of my greatest weapons in life, words, I never stopped. The first song that she wrote is a song that she described as a very sad song or something, and she even used some of its lines on one of the songs featured on her debut album called Lucky. Curiously, she didn't listen to a lot of music when she was growing up. Like, she didn't listen to the radio or music on TV, and she said she didn't even have a computer at home until she was like around 14. So she mostly listened to vinyls, LPs from artists like Bob Dylan, Leonard Cohen, or Enya. And she also became a huge fan of heavy metal. She said it was the first music she discovered by herself when she was 13, and the force of anger in it really attracted her. Some of her favorite bands include System of a Down, Gojira, Mastodon, and Slayer. She even went to a Gojira show when she was just 11. And here's what she said: I like being able to be on the inside of music rather than on the outside listening to it. It's like swimming in the ocean rather than looking at it. Which, let's be honest, is a very interesting perspective. Growing up, Aurora also had a very distinct personal style, which her sisters have described as something weird and that they thought she might get bullied in school for dressing like she did. Still, that didn't stop her from expressing herself, and one of the ways that she did that, in addition to music and fashion, was through dancing. She was a dancer for 10 years between 6 and 16, and she continues to dance with choreographies in videos like Quindon and Apple Tree, and also at her live concerts. She said that dancing has helped her to get through a lot. Now, she wasn't really into being the center of attention, especially talking in public, because she had a stutter she had a stutter that got worse when she was anxious. And apparently it gets better with singing because according to her, when you are singing, there's nothing really holding your words back. So it's not really scary. That's also one of the reasons why she recorded a personal song and gave it as a Christmas gift for her parents. Like, she didn't want to have to perform it for them to listen to it. So in 2012, she put the song on SoundCloud and an agent quickly discovered it. Go Aurora. Aurora says her first actual job was when she became an artist at just 16. In 2014, she signed with a record label and performed at the CMJ Music Marathon in New York City. The New York Times described her as one of the festival's most memorable arrivals, with lyrics full of quests and transformations that show ambitions beyond love songs. In 2015, she released her first EP, Running with the Wolves, followed by her debut album, All My Demons Greeting Me as a Friend, in 2016, which reportedly collected 50 million listens on Spotify. Then everything was really fast, because by then she had already opened for Of Monsters and Men in Brixton and had one of her songs featured on the FIFA 2016 soundtrack. Both projects' first track was Runaway, a song that she described as the essential track for you to get into her music, and also is a song that captivated artists like Katy Perry. In 2021, the track entered the Billboard Top charts after it went viral on TikTok. Always that. Becoming the only second track released before 2015 to crack the top 40 in the new global US chart after Fleetwood Mac's Dreams from 1977. For her second full-length project, Aurora split the album in two parts, or two albums, and that's why we can say that the 2022 album is her fourth studio album. So I'm gonna leave this up to you. Anyways, in 2018, she surprised everyone when she dropped Infections of a Different Kind, Step 1, unannounced, after presenting some songs in live performance, including at festivals like Lollapalooza and Coachella. This was even more experimental project and marks the first time the singer talked about themes like politics and sexuality more openly in her music. And it's so cool because she said that a lot of her inspiration for this project came after interactions with fans when she was on tour. And things got a little bit more intense after she learned about the struggles that many of them had to go through in different countries, especially LGBTQ+ fans. The lead single for the project was Quindon, a song about empowering the underdog and people who hasn't been respected. Although she emphasized that most of the songs she writes are not about herself or her personal experience, but rather about what's going on in the world and other people's lives, she revealed that she had a boyfriend at the time and that beforehand she had a girlfriend, but she didn't put a label on her sexuality. She said, "I just like to enjoy what is there and I like to explore. Just love everything around you and you're loving yourself." The classic by saying, "I'm just exploring everything around. Hey." Aurora released the second part, A Different Kind of Human, Step 2, in 2019, which focused especially on the ecological crisis and issues caused by things like consumerism and individualism. She said she wanted to inspire her young listeners to change the world around them for the better. "I want the music to be a nature force, big like a mountain, ocean, or hurricane. Music for me is really big and the closest thing I've experienced of something divine. I want people to be reminded of their inner warrior." One of the album's music video for Apple Tree directly addressed this subject. In a statement, the singer described it as being about the potential that hides in all of us. "Even when the world won't listen to scientific proof that the world is dying, believe in us and maybe we'll be the generation that saves the world rather than the one that killed it." Like I said, Aurora has a deep connection with nature and she has been very vocal about some environmental causes. In 2020, she joined the Clean Sounds Initiative, a project where artists performed surprise shows for volunteers cleaning up plastic pollution in natural spaces. In 2020, she also performed at the Greenpeace AAA virtual concert, and in 2021, she performed and gave a speech at the Global Climate Conference COP26 in Glasgow. She also declared herself a feminist, of course, and has been very open about her support to LGBTQ+ cause and rights. In a 2021 interview with the Norwegian newspaper, she then declared herself bisexual. "I want to empower everyone. I've always been a big supporter of people like me, the outsiders, the underdogs, the introverts, and in many societies, it's the woman, some women, the children, the animals, gay people. It can change from place to place who's being suppressed, so I've always been a big fighter for them, for us, because it is very important." Aurora said that she wrote the single Cure for Me for the album The Gods We Can Touch to condemn the people that still believes in the conversion therapy for gay people. Talking to Enemy about the track, she said that she couldn't understand why it's so difficult for people to just let the others be themselves. I love her. And in a 2018 interview with The Independent, she said, "My only political view is that everything should be allowed to have respect and be accepted for what it is. I think people like to be passive once in a while and it's really tiring to be human, but that's why I want to involve it in my music." So honestly, I am deeply thankful for everyone who bothered me, who made me, no, just kidding. I'm very thankful for everyone who was really annoying me to get to know Aurora, because it was worth it. She is not only a great artist with great music, but look at that, okay? She is actually doing something for the world. So I loved finding out about her journey. I think she's definitely one of the artists that we have to look up for, because that's it. I hope you liked the video. If you did, don't forget to subscribe and give it a thumbs up. And if you didn't, no, you did. You did. Bye.